Hello, welcome to Module 5 of the Building Code Playbook training series, Tracking Building Code Adoption Nationwide. I'm Shane Crawford. I'm a civil engineer with FEMA's Building Science branch. In this video, we're going to discuss how FEMA tracks the natural hazard-resistant building code adoption status for state, local, tribal, and territorial governments. We will also look at some programs used for tracking and how hazard-resistant building codes help make communities more resistant to natural hazards. FEMA's Building Code Adoption Tracking, or BCAT effort, follows a methodology that defines geographical hazard risk and hazard-resistant building codes. Currently, the effort includes 5 natural hazards: flood, earthquake, hurricane, tornado, and damaging wind. And we now track over 23,000 jurisdictions across the country, covering all 50 states, 5 territories, and the District of Columbia. Design and construction provisions for buildings are triggered by authoritative sources that define geographical risk to specific hazards. For example, buildings in Kansas aren't designed to withstand hurricanes because the risk of hurricane forces in that state is so small, but buildings in Florida are required to design for hurricane forces. FEMA defines hazard-resistant building code as the current or next most recent edition of a consensus-based model building code with all of the hazard-resistant provisions in the model code and mandatory for all buildings within a jurisdiction. The model codes that are currently tracked in the BCAT effort are the International Building Code and the International Residential Code, as they include structural hazard-resistant provisions and coordinate the companion codes. FEMA tracks the adoption of codes at the state, tribal, territorial, and local levels of jurisdiction. The first step in tracking code adoption is gathering all available data describing jurisdictional adoption. The primary source of this information is Verisk's Building Code Effectiveness Grading Schedule, or BCEGS, a program in which Verisk partners with local jurisdictions to collect information about their code adoption and enforcement capacity and provides insurance rate adjustments based on the collected data. BCEGS is conducted through a lengthy and detailed questionnaire to jurisdictions that Verisk is constantly updating, and select information in BCEGS is provided to FEMA quarterly. FEMA supplements the BCEGS data with our own research and information provided by non-federal partner programs, such as the Inspect to Protect program administered by the Federal Alliance for Safe Homes, or FLASH. FEMA publishes natural hazard and code adoption data on our BCAT landing page at fema.gov/BCAT, as well as in the BCAT portal that is available to the public and linked on the BCAT landing page. The BCAT landing page also includes a glossary describing the BCAT methodology, products such as FEMA's regional code adoption fact sheets, and quarterly statistics for code adoption percentages broken out by hazard. The BCAT portal includes a web map that shows the 23,000 tracked jurisdictions, along with notes describing weakening amendments that states have enacted to remove hazard-resistant provisions of their codes. In addition to these tools, FEMA shares BCAT data across the agency to support building code usage in FEMA programs and with other federal agencies through the National Initiative to Advance Building Codes, which requires using BCAT data in the implementation of the initiative. In closing, FEMA's Building Code Adoption Tracking effort is meant to help FEMA, other federal agencies, and the public understand the landscape of hazard-resistant building code adoption nationwide. As more hazard-resistant building codes are adopted and implemented nationwide, our communities become more resilient to natural hazards, and lives, property, and economies will be better protected from disruption. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more information on building code resilience.